Regular Show, one of the greatest cartoons of all time. It taught children valuable life lessons through the wacky shenanigans that Mordecai and Rigby used to get up to at work. And it also taught us that it's okay to slime your day ones for the hug.
No, I didn't! I just wanted to see zombie dinner party with my bro, who flanked on me for some girl who doesn't even know he exists!
I'll kill you!
And this may be in misinformation, but I'm pretty sure a new cartoon set in the Regular Show universe is in the works, so we're gonna celebrate by nostalgia maxing. And what better way to nostalgia max than by looking back on season 4 episode 1 exit 9B. In this episode everyone returns, and when I say everyone I mean the Guardians of Eternal Youth, No Rules Guy, and loads more sleep paralysis characters make a comeback. And this all happens because a weird bearded guy brainwashes all the park employees into agreeing to let him build a highway over the park. But let's back up so this all makes sense. So the episode starts off with Thomas, the new intern, watching his colleagues get slimed by a bunch of lasers, and this life-threatening situation he's already stumbled into is an accurate representation of what it takes to get a minimum wage job in today's job market. 2 months have passed since this incident, and Skips is now working in a garage. Pops almost drove over Muscle Man. High Five Ghost is delivering pizza. Muscle Man is lecturing quantum mechanics. Benson has now been promoted.
But now you have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
And Thomas is feeding him pizza. But the real question is, where are Mordecai and Rigby? Oh, there they are. They were chilling in space-time, but they can't do that anymore because their time machine's busted. But the boys have come prepared. They've got a plan, but first, they need Skips' assistance. Unfortunately, he doesn't remember the boys at first, so he does what any normal person would do to strangers who politely ask for help. He strangles them against a wall, like Itachi did to his little bro. Luckily, after Rigby reminds him about his side piece, his memories get rejogged and the laser brainwash wears off. So this bearded guy's been trying to buy the park for months, but after too much rejection, he's gonna take the park by force. Wow. But if Mordecai and Rigby can get all the former employees to sign this letter, then the bearded guy legally can't build the highway by law. So they return back to the park to save Benson, only to find out his crash out energy has been repressed, and he's been getting threatened with being fired. Oh, how the turns have tabled. Before we continue, I'm gonna give Benson his flowers. He's without a doubt the undisputed #1 crash out in fiction. I don't even need to explain, just look at the evidence.
Pranks are funny, huh? You think they're funny? Well, what do you guys think of my prank? Ring, ring. Hello, what's that? Mordecai and Rigby are banned from using the house phone? Okay.
And one other thing about Benson, before we move on, every time I see him, I keep thinking about that Meat Canyon video they made on Regular Show. I won't play the clip, but if you haven't seen the video, make sure to search it on YouTube and let me know about how I ruined the cartoon for you, so I can give you one of my gumballs. The boys left the park again because it was too dangerous to get to Benson, because he was always with the bearded man. So they fixed Pops by giving him a lollipop, and no! We just got reminded of Pops being naked. Well, there was no avoiding that. Looks like we're gonna have to watch 100 Isekais to forget about this now. Muscle Man is in a lecture right now. Do you know who else is in a lecture right now?
My mom!
Nice, it looks like Muscle Man's regained his memories. Do you remember that one scene where Muscle Man is just shooting everywhere? This is how Senshi plays in Marvel Rivals, and the very relevant character High Five Ghost gets his memories back with a high five. Now that the gang's almost back together, they go back to the park to save Benson, but they stumble into Thomas instead. So everyone's trying to peer pressure him into helping them, but this distraction gets everyone kidnapped by Benson. Congratulations, Benson. You have now been promoted. You are now one of the creepy beard man's elite employees. At the moment, everyone's stuck in cement talking to the weird beard man, and this is where we find out he's the son of world-renowned gaming champion Garrett Bobby Ferguson. It's Garrett Bobby Ferguson Jr. And he's got beef with Mordecai and Rigby because they beat his dad's gaming record and blew him up. So I can't even hate on GBF Jr. because he's not even in the wrong. I'm not turning the other cheek if someone blows up my dad. Exit 9B is a freeway that leads into hell, and this will allow Garrett Bobby Ferguson and the park's very own Sinister Six to return to Earth and destroy everything. The gang's really all here, even those dumbass sausages. The Fergusons are now reunited, so they grow limbs and hug each other. Damn, Meat Canyon doesn't even need to try making this cartoon uncomfortable. They're doing fine just on their own. At the moment, it looks like everyone's cooked, but Skips brings in reinforcements like the god of basketball who is low accurate LeBron. And even though the good guys are probably gonna get their butt cheeks whooped, Mordecai's not gonna back down because he's not gonna let some guy with a TV for a head bully him, and that mindset is goated. But that's not gonna stop the demon spawn of the underworld from attacking the park. But it's a good thing they have the IQ of someone who doesn't subscribe to me, because Tecmo bulldozes them as if he's a log and they are a skeleton army. And now all hell is literally breaking loose. Mordecai, Rigby and Skips eliminate the rest of the army via fall damage. All the other villains join the fray and the hammer is going hit for hit with LeBron. But then the no rules guy fractures LeBron's spine with a metal pipe. Ref, do something! We are jumping our goat! Mordecai and Rigby go after Benson so he can sign the letter, and the Guardians of Eternal Youth give Skips the gauntlet so he can continue to carry everyone as usual. And Muscle Man's using mats to fight off everyone for some reason. So as Mordecai and Rigby go after Benson, they run into the summertime tape, so Mordecai knocks it out.
Summertime, and you know what that means. Gonna head down to the beach, gonna do some beachy things. It's
God damn it, now that song's gonna be stuck in our heads as well, and there was nothing we could have done to avoid that either. The boys tried to talk Benson out of being an elite employee, but they get clotheslined off the highway and Benson tries to murder them with a tractor. So they escape in the golf cart, and for some reason, even when Benson is brainwashed, he still manages to get rage baited by this duo. While all this is happening, the baby ducks transform and fight off Susan, and I don't know if anyone's noticed, but the no rules guy has been on a generational run. The way he short-circuited the infinity gauntlets with water is insane. Damn, never mind. The baby ducks threw him into a portal potty, and a plane just flew into it at Mach 20 speed. Now that Mordecai and Rigby are cornered, they have no choice but to start doing donuts, and they just notice this was giving Benson PTSD, so they make things worse by ham-boning and shouting whoa, and this immaculate rage bait reminded Benson that he's a boss. Damn, I didn't need to see bro's gumballs drop. We are getting reminded of that Meat Canyon video again. It couldn't have been avoided either. Now that everyone signed the letter, everything should go back to normal, but it doesn't because they forgot Thomas needs to sign as well. It makes sense that they would forget about him as well because he's an intern. The ball is now in his court. Will he help the boys or fold and give Garrett Bobby Ferguson Jr. some coffee? He chooses the latter, is what I thought I would be saying, but Thomas grew some balls and threw the coffee on Jr., which results in him getting clotheslined off the highway as well. Luckily, Benson flies the limo back to exit 9B so all the villains can watch Thomas sign the real letter, and Junior realizes he was holding a fake letter all this time. This is great. Everything ends well and Garrett Bobby Ferguson Jr. breaks the world record for disappointing his father. And then everyone gets sent back into hell and Thomas gets a rare intern W. This doesn't change the fact that bro was a Russian spy. That was a chaotic episode, but Gibbs has seen worse, and the episode ends off with a classic reveal of Muscle Man's abs. The next episode we've got to cover is Season 3 Episode 18, Excellent. This episode is so iconic and it starts off with Mordecai and Rigby watching Interdimensional Cable, but then Benson, the micromanager, had to put a stop to these two relaxing by pointing out that if they're really on a lunch break then they better eat or get back to work. Coincidentally, an advert starts playing about a food challenge. If you can eat 12 eggs mixed with chili, cheese, biscuits and a fruit bowl in less than 1 hour, then you keep the meal for free, and you also get a free trucker hat that says I'm excellent. How greedy! I know this episode is trying to exaggerate this challenge, but I've deadass witnessed certain people devour 30 eggs like it's an average day in the office. This is the type of meal you'd expect that I can't hit my protein guy to devour. Regardless, Rigby has got to get that hat because it's free drip and will be great dad law. So he peer pressures Mordecai into going with him, and the waiter does try to stop Rigby from ordering the challenge. But after rage baiting the waiter into agreeing that the customer is always right, Rigby gets prepared to give it his all in this challenge.
A few moments later.
Damn. Bro was allergic to eggs all this time and he deadass thought he could finish that meal if he just ate fast. And now he's unconscious for God knows how long because he just wanted a hat. You've got to respect the dedication at this point. So now that Rigby's in a coma until further notice, Mordecai has a touching moment where he vows to win the hat for him. And then Benson starts acting acoustic and blaming this all on them not working. So Mordecai did what we were all thinking of doing and clocked bro in the face and then proceeded to point out that he has no motion. So now Mordecai is going off to complete the challenge like the good friend he is. for this episode at least. I already mentioned how he slimed Rigby just for an opportunity to crack Margaret at the start of the episode, but do you remember when Rigby hid Mordecai's high school diploma just so Mordecai could work in a dead-end job with him instead of going to college and progressing his career? Mordecai and Rigby have such a messy relationship. It's a miracle they are still friends and are willing to go into food comas for each other at this point. If my boy dumped my A-levels in the trash, then I'm probably burying him alive in my backyard. Anyways, Mordecai completely failed the challenge, but Benson and Co are gonna help him prepare for the rematch. You see, Skips remembers a previous employee called Jonathan Kimball at the park who was obsessed with the excellent challenge. It was the only thing he ever ate, and he would make notes on how to beat the challenge until he figured it out, and when he finally cracked the code, he disappeared and no one knows where bro went because he failed so many times that they didn't bother watching his last attempt. But his cheat book was left behind, so the gang will use it to start a training montage, and I've gotta say, watching Benson push Mordecai through multiple avocado snack menus was really endearing. Benson is a good guy, he's just misunderstood. So Mordecai benches 3 plates, runs multiple 10Ks, and spits food on the tweaking muscle man. And now he's ready to face the challenge again. Now me personally, I would never throw up all over Muscle Man because that guy's just crazy. Benson may be a crash out, but at least he's not weird and he showers. Muscle Man is just unhinged. If you get on his bad side, then he'll make a super volcano eruption look harmless. Just see how he almost butchered my boy Thomas because of an accusation.
Thomas did this? Muscle Man? He thinks he can break his superior and get away with it? He's gonna wish he was not a boy! Thomas!
Maybe that was deserved in hindsight, considering Thomas is a sellout. Anyways, now that Mordecai and Benson have made up, it's mukbang time. But when the Baratier saw Mordecai using the new meta by mixing cookies with his water, they had to intervene. But Benson and Co won't let them interfere, and this is when the great battle of the minimum wage workers began. As a fellow minimum wage worker myself, this is just absolute cinema. My favourite attack was when someone pours soup in the chef's shirt and then he gets sucker punched. That's a nasty fatality. And Benson went hit for hit with the head chef, but once Benson got his hands on some pizza, it was over for bro. While all this happened, Mordecai finished the challenge in time, but it seems like the chefs only wanted to save Mordecai because bro just got isekai to the realm of excellent hats that was being guarded by this homeless knight who explains to Mordecai that he now needs to choose the correct hat from this collection if he wants to go home, and if he chooses incorrectly, he'll end up like Jonathan Kimball. Damn, he finally lost weight, but at what cost? Can I just say, how do you dedicate your life to winning a prize and forget how the prize looks? Did bro think he was going to Burger King all of this time? That choice is crazy. Luckily, Mordecai remembers Rigby glazing the hat design, so he chooses correctly. Now that Mordecai's back because his choice was excellent, the homeless knight opens his locker of multiple trucker hats and replaces the empty spot. I need to know the lore behind this place. Why is bro eradicating people's lives for £5 souvenirs? So Mordecai places the hat on Rigby and he wakes up from his coma. And after some celebrating, an advert about a steak challenge place. If you beat the challenge, you get a shirt that says, "Raise the stakes." I'm not gonna lie, that shirt does look tough. It would go so well with the excellent hat. That would be a 10 out of 10 fit and it would definitely let you pull anybody you wanted. So Rigby tries to go there, but after everyone at the park risks their lives to get him this hat, they had enough of Rigby's selfishness. So Benson and Mordecai agree to rip the trucker hat off Rigby's head so that it puts him back in a coma. This episode was genuinely heartwarming. It showed W dynamics, themes, and character growth for everyone. Benson and Mordecai were really likable this episode. If you made it this far in the video, then comment other cartoons I should cover. Like the video and subscribe, or else I'm building a highway over your house. See you all in the next video.